Thank you so much for tuning in. We're awfully glad that you're with us today. Today in the Zoom booth, I have Rita Innomarrati. I love saying her name, and she's with Volunteer Nanaimo, and it's part of the Christmas Angels program that you probably recognize as being around this beautiful city for a very, very long time. I think that she's a founding member of it, and I'm so glad she's here. Rita, welcome. How are you doing?
Just great.
I'm so glad. It looks like toy headquarters behind you. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, here we are. We are at Angel headquarters working and getting ready for our families. And you're right, we started Christmas Angels in 2008. So we have been around for a long time. It's our 14th Christmas, our second COVID Christmas. So yay, lots of fun there. And in spite of COVID last year, we managed. And this year, even though things were a little bit tight, we did manage to get a space. So really thank you to NORAD for that. It was sort of a last minute. We're usually in our space at the beginning of November, but it was really tight this year. I mean, there's just so much going on in the city, so many people, so many organizations helping our families, our seniors, helping our youth. And, we're just so proud and thrilled to be able to be part of that.
I love this program, right? I feel that the program itself does such a service to our community. And I was a recipient of a fabulous angel when I was a child. And so for me, this is like coming home. It's so important that we recognize that there are a lot of families in our community that just simply don't have a lot around Christmas time. But the Christmas Angel program isn't just at Christmas, is it? It's an all year round opportunity for people to give generously. Can you share a little bit about that with us?
Absolutely. We're really happy because for the past few years, we did expand the Angel program. So it's actually, we have an Angel network now, and there's different parts to the network, although we like to just think it's everything. We have Angel crafters. So they do quilting and knitting, and they make toys and do that sort of thing. And we get those donated. We just have so many, we're so blessed with that. We've had tremendous donations of yarn. We were also gifted some funds for the program, which was great, which is specific to that program. And that money will only be used for that program. We've been working on a program through Angel Network called Helping Hands. And Helping Hands is just a little program where we're wanting to help persons in need. Seniors probably are going to be the majority, but we're not closed off to people with other challenges in their lives. Just got home from the hospital, need a little help moving some furniture, things like that. Yeah. So we are really working on that right now, signing up volunteers, making sure that all the criminal record checks are done, because we have to be very careful about making sure that our clients are safe, like people who we are helping are safe, and also that our volunteers are safe. So we've got that aspect as well. But Christmas Angels, or Angel Network, like I say, it goes all year. So we've had, we get calls throughout the year for different things that people might be looking for, and we deal basically with agencies to go with, just so that people understand that not anybody can phone us and ask us for stuff. I mean, they can, and we'll try to, work with them or refer them to an agency. But we do try to help with whatever furnishings or shoes for the kids at school. I think we did a shoe drive this summer. Our youth program did a fundraiser, and we provided one of our principals with, I don't know, about 30 pairs of new shoes, new runners. So because kids come to school and maybe they're not fitting, or, just with the weather and things like that. So, we're happy to do what we can. We can't do it all. Absolutely. There's lots of people wanting to help, and they're all over town, but whatever we can do, if we can find a way. There are so many kind people. I just put a call out. I just put a call out to the Angel Network for some things that we were short of this year, blankets, even like tins of cookies, boxes of cookies for us to put in hampers for families or for seniors, for youth. And it's just been amazing how many people have responded so positively. We really like to impress that you don't have to spend a lot of money to be an angel. You can spend $10 and still be, to me, all my angels are on the same playing field. And, you know, if you spend $10 to help us out with something that we need, you're an angel in my books. And all of us here, the team, I have a most amazing team that I work with.
Yeah.
And, you know, always have my back.
So I just want to check in with you regarding this, because you talked about a moment ago being in a COVID year last year. This is a COVID year. It's a slightly different COVID year than we had last year. However, have you seen an increase in the need, or are people coming out of the woodwork into agencies looking for further assistance, or is it about the same overall?
This year, I think the need is the same or more, but it's different.
How so?
Last year they had CERB. A lot of people were getting the CERB payments. And so that was really, I think, a help for a lot of families.
Sure.
This year, the majority, and I'm going to say the majority, I'm discounting my seniors and my youth. So this does not include that sector,
Sure.
But our family sector, really a lot of working poor. I mean, people who are working maybe full-time, maybe more than full-time, but just aren't making the money to pay the bills. I mean, rents are skyrocketed. And, you know, people, like I said, they're choosing between, you know, the requests, the asks this year are all a lot, even for the children, are around needs, many around needs. And a lot of asks for like slippers and blankets because the house is cold and we have to choose between heat and eating. So the houses are staying cooler. Yes. And they're just dressing the kids up more to make sure that they're fed. But really a high number, I would say, are working poor. They're not just they're just looking for a hand up. They're just looking for a little help. They're not, you know, sitting waiting for bounty to fall at their door. They're really struggling. Like, people are really struggling for legitimate reasons. They're really crying.
Thank goodness for you, Rita, for this program. I mean, thank goodness for Volunteer Nanaimo, and people really need to reach out for sure. So we'll make sure that there's information on our screen so that people will know how to reach you, and give our very, very best to our community. And you always do. Thank you so much. So everybody, if you've just tuned in to Act 3 on CHLY 101.7 FM, I am absolutely delighted to have one of my favorite people in Nanaimo here. And it's because this woman has wings. I swear to God, she sprouted them off of herself. And she is the person that helps to make so many people in our community fly. And we're so grateful to have her. Rita Innomarrati is our guest today from Volunteer Nanaimo. We're talking today about the need in our community and the overall ways that you can contribute. So this is a perfect time, if you just tuned in, to go grab yourself a piece of paper and a pen, because Rita's information is going to be available for you shortly, and we'll make sure that you can write it down and see if you can help support the cause. Rita, what inspired you to do this work in the very beginning? Because I know you've been doing this for a long time, as we said in the earlier part of the show. What brought you to it?
Well, I mean, like you, I think the two of us share a similar past around poverty, around not having. Yeah. And for me, my dad passed away. He was 37. Oh my goodness. And my mom was left with 4 kids and immigrants. We're Italian, obviously. If you didn't guess from the name, you didn't look at it. So, my mom had a grade 3 education, and, back in the 60s, there wasn't welfare like there is now. There weren't the community supports that there are now. And I remember the first Christmas after my dad passed away, the church had brought us each a gift, each of us 4 girls a gift. And It was a gift. That's all I can say. I mean, I can remember what it was, and it's just that for a little girl, first of all, a couple of men picked it out, and
For sure. They didn't know what they were doing.
well,
Yeah.
it's not that they didn't know what they were doing. It's like, well, it's a present. She'll have something to open.
Sure.
And, so yes, you have that to be grateful for, quite frankly. Back then, the communities would pull together, as they do now, but back then it was a little bit more because we really relied on, the grocery store, which the community grocery store back then, it's not like the big stores now, but
No, not at
then
all.
they would close on Sunday and Monday. Remember, if you can remember back that far, Kathy, that
I sure
stores actually
can.
closed, didn't open.
That's right.
And so the stuff that was there on Saturday night,
Yeah.
one of the grocery store owners was a very good friend of my dad's, and he would come over on Saturday after the store closed and bring stuff that would otherwise he wouldn't be able to sell on Tuesday. So, that helped our family out. And then, over the years, I've done a lot of different work with different organizations, but it basically became the same thing. I did some work with different organizations, and it was more of, what was available. That's what kids would get.
For sure.
And I really wanted something where I don't care if they only get one thing, but it should be something a child wants. And I know here this year, my pal Gloria gets very excited when she sees little girls who want remote control cars and Hot Wheels and
Yes.
hockey sticks and basketballs. But let's face it, if you don't have that wish list,
Yeah.
that little 6 or 7 or 8-year-old girl is going to get a Barbie.
Absolutely.
And Barbies are great.
Of course.
Barbies are wonderful. I had 2 Barbie doll daughters myself, but I had one daughter that wasn't a Barbie doll daughter. So, as much as you say, well, anything at Christmas, they're poor, not so much. A little girl might open it up and see a Barbie and be like, wow, Barbie. But I think we've already sent off the hockey stick that Gloria so well wrapped that no one's going to guess what's in that package. But that little girl's going to be excited because that little girl wanted a hockey stick, and we made sure she got a really good hockey stick because that's what she wanted. She didn't want a Barbie or a Frozen doll.
Yeah, it's not like the old days where there's the assumptions, that's for sure. And in all fairness, it was a little, did you actually grow up in Italy or did you grow up in Canada?
No, I grew up in Canada.
So you grew up in Canada. So where I grew up on the mainland, we had the CKNW Orphans Fund in the fire department. And so the fireman would come to my door and he'd have our door, and he'd have the hamper for us, which was like so awesome. And then my 3 sisters, single mom, my dad and mom split when I was 2 years old for uncomfortable circumstances. So I had these, the fireman would come up and he was so big and he had his big fire hat on. And he passed me my very first purse. And inside of the purse was a little book and a little package of fake lipstick and eyeliner and all of that stuff. And you know what? I tell you, to this day, I still have the book. I don't have the purse anymore, but I still have the little book. And it reminds me that somebody made me feel like I mattered. Right? It wasn't that my mother didn't want to gift us because she just didn't have the money. And in those days, welfare was a very different thing than it is today. It's even way worse now for single parents to look after their children on the dole than it was when I was growing up. Right? It's very different. They used to look after things like our teeth, or if we were sick, we could get medical attention or glasses or things like that if we had eyesight issues. But I don't think that they do any of that anymore. It's been so severely clawed back. So come Christmas time, if you're a little girl who wants, or a boy, doesn't matter, and you like certain things, unless it's coming through a program like the Angels program, these things just don't happen for these families. Right? They just don't happen. And so, I just want everybody to know that the reason that and I think you are too, the reason I am who I am today is because of the fire department and CKNW and an angel who came to my door wearing a fire hat. Right? It becomes a part of the fabric of your humanity. when someone helps you feel like you matter. And that's why this program is so important to me as well, is because for all of those children, like how many children are being dealt with right now, or how many families did you support
I
last
can't
year?
even, you know what? I can't even take the time to tell you. It's not until it's all over that we even do a count, but it's been crazy busy.
So last year, do you remember what the numbers were
We
from
did
last
about
year?
387 households last year, about close to 1,200 people. So the
That's a lot of people.
majority of those are going to be, children, youth, right?
That's a huge amount of people in our community that are being supported. 1,200 people is a lot.
I
So
like to think so.
yeah, and I mean, I think that our community owes you such a great debt of gratitude, and all of the angels that participate, because this is a little bit different. Families are vetted and chosen by and through agency, which we sort of touched on a little bit earlier. I wonder if we can blow that open a little bit, like how, because this isn't, somebody can't just phone, and well, although we try, somebody can't just phone and be unvetted, right? Like we like to know where this stuff is going, right?
Well, not to be cynical, but if you would just take every single person that called, it wouldn't necessarily work out. So our families that we help, our seniors, our youth, they are vetted. So what that means is that someone is working with this family, genuinely knows that there is need, and has discussions with the family. One of the things that we're very, very clear about is, it's right on our wish list sheet, is you can't apply to 2 or 3 different places to get gifts. Not food. We encourage you. Food is
A very different animal.
is a basic need, and get as much food as you can. I mean, kids are home at Christmas like that. It's different when kids are home all day, right?
Oh my
I
God,
don't know what it is about when kids are home all day. I know when my kids were home all day, what I thought was going to be in the fridge at 5 o'clock to make for supper was very often gone. So I totally get it. When they're at school, at least you can protect what you're making for supper, but you can't when they're home. So we don't stop that. But people who would, apply to us through us, and then it would apply through the toy drive or apply through whatever other agencies do. I don't know how many are doing toys and gifts, but definitely the 2 of us. There is so much need. Why would you want to take away from someone else? Basically is what it is. You're taking away from somewhere else. Our program is so amazing. Our angels are so amazing that there would be no need to go elsewhere for gifts. We don't guarantee food. Not a lot of our families do, or not a lot of our angels do, like grocery hampers, but many do grocery gift cards. Some do
for sure.
Groceries. And with the fundraising that we've done, we really do our very level best to make sure everyone gets at least a gift card. But for groceries, we don't do gift cards. We don't ask our angels to go out and buy gift cards, because they're not ATMs. They're willing to go out and shop for what you want. So that's what we ask them to do, not to feel like they're just there to, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
No, exactly. It's not the bank, right? But
no, it's not. They're not an ATM. They are actual genuine people who enjoy the shopping experience, and that's what they're doing. But we have done a lot of fundraising. Everyone is getting a card. Having said that, a $50 gift card or a $100 gift card is not a lot of money at the grocery store. I just went to pick up a couple of turkeys today, and I'm telling you, a not big turkey is, close to $40.
Yeah, I know.
So, we are
with
really just being a help. We're not no one is able to really provide everything. I mean, a few of our angels are over the top, fantastic, terrific, absolutely providing everything that a family could need. The majority of our angels are regular folk like you and I, Kathy, and they just want to help, and that's what we're doing. So we're helping.
So Rita, let's say someone wants to become an angel. What's the process of becoming an angel?
Well, it's pretty simple. You just basically let us know you want to be an angel. Then
that's
I
easy.
can send out the information. You say what you want to do. So you can either adopt a youth, adopt a senior, adopt a family. How big a family? A family of 2, a family of 8, a family of 6, a family of 10. We're open to all of that. We can find that. We have a lot of larger families. Many of them don't get adopted because not a lot of people can take on a family of 6 or 4 or 5
That's a
kids.
lot of people. And it's not
So,
just for the children. Often when you're dealing with a family, you're often getting something for mom and dad as well.
oh, for sure,
Something
for
like
sure.
it's a family gift opportunity. Yeah.
Right. So, often we will break a family up, not break, we won't break a family up,
No,
but
no,
we
not
will
a family
divide,
itself,
we
but
will divide the wish
to the
list
family. Understood.
among several angels
Yeah.
so that the family is taken care of. And but we also, you can see behind me, we also get a lot of donations of items that we can, make sure that families get what they need. Like I said, we get our cash donations go basically to grocery cards. Other things we buy would be things like coats and boots. Those are needs. I mean, you can't send children out in the pouring rain or in the cold without a decent
No.
coat to keep them dry.
And they grow out
And
of them so quickly. So having something to, give people an opportunity. Listen, Rita, I'm curious though. So somebody wants to just donate. They may not have the ability to go out and do the shop, but maybe they want to support a family in some way. Is there any or do the families actually meet each other to work things out, or is it very what about the confidentiality piece? How does that look?
yeah, that this program is completely anonymous and confidential.
Okay.
So if you're looking to meet the family, this isn't the program for you because
Yeah.
we just don't do that.
Yeah.
Really, there aren't a lot of people who see any of the forms. There might be in total 3 in passing. Mostly it's just myself.
Yeah.
And just occasionally, because we have to do other things, that a second person might see some of the information, but we don't share that information with anyone. And actually, at the end of the season, we destroy all the information so that we can't even, we wouldn't even have that information. I mean, the workers there would be some, emails possibly that, would have some of that information on it, but I destroy as much of it as I possibly can because it's really nobody's business who needed help.
Yeah, it's really important that people recognize that this anonymous program is also a very safe program. So, not only is the Santa Center completely anonymous, it's hidden away where it's not advertised as to where where Santa's workshop is, for lack of better words. But and if people want to drop off gifts, how do they go about doing that? Is there someone at the volunteer Nanaimo office, or how do people drop stuff off?
For sure, people can drop off right at the office, the volunteer Nanaimo office. Yeah, we're open Monday to Thursday, 9 to 3.
Okay.
I myself, and I'm going to mention Gloria is sitting over there behind me, not saying anything. She's just sitting real quiet, but she helps me to be very accommodating to people. So if you can't make it within the hours that we work, one of us can meet you at the office, or
So there's always a way for people to
there's always a way. You just have to email, your phone, leave a message. Generally, I prefer the email. I got to be honest with you, Kathy, because I'm answering emails in the middle of the night. We don't really spend a lot of time on the computer during the day.
Now we're talking boundaries about certain things, young lady. Answering emails in the middle of the night is not the preferred. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuning in now to actually on CHOI and you're wanting to be a Christmas angel for Rita Innomarrati, don't email her in the middle of the night because she will respond.
Well, the funny thing is, some people actually respond to me at 1 or 2 in the morning. I've actually had people who answered me right away, and I'll be like, why are you answering me at 2 o'clock in the morning? And they'll say, why are you emailing me at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, like, well, I saw that you had messaged me one day and I was like, I'm sleeping, Rita. and but I realized that you weren't, right? And it's the way that we connect. This is the world that we're in. So in that vein, because it is so important that we get this information out there, email whenever you like. I'm just joking with you. Please tell people how they can email you. What is the email address?
Email address is vnanaimo@gmail.com. So V for volunteer, vnanaimo@gmail.com. Couldn't think of a way to make it any easier than that.
I was gonna say it's pretty easy, pretty easy. Do you have any idea how many angels you have right now? Are you in need of more angels? And if so, what might that look like?
We are always in need of angels.
Yeah.
Certainly, we like I think I mentioned earlier, we have a shortage this year of blankets, like, the nice fuzzy warm blankets that are good for cuddling up on couches. I mean, we had so many knitted blankets, we had quilted blankets, and I don't think we have many left at all when you consider the number of that are going out.
Yeah, for sure.
So, we can always use a nice fuzzy blanket. We can use any kind of toiletries, shampoo, soap, toilet paper. Well, I'm not going to ask anyone to go and get toilet paper because I don't want you to take your life in your hands just to bring me a small package of toilet paper. But anything like that, even things, I know there are things you wouldn't think of, but if you're out shopping and, laundry detergent's on sale and you can pick up a bottle of laundry detergent that's on sale, even that, because anything we can do to help these families is one less thing they have to concern themselves with when they're looking for groceries.
And that's what I'm thinking is people don't really recognize or realize just how important some of those staples in homes are. Like simple things like toilet paper and paper towels. And, all of those things are so expensive. I was looking at paper towels the other day and it was like $6 for like 4 rolls, which is insane, right? And the price of eggs too is like almost $5 for eggs and almost $5 for a loaf of bread in some cases. So, and that's not even the good bread. That's just like inexpensive breads. So the prices are rising. We have a short supply because of the floods and all of the heat dome and all the things that have happened to us this year. It's been a really, really tough year. So, and you wouldn't think to give those as gifts, but they are so important to the foundation of a home.
Right. And even like with the youth workers, one of the things that they asked for this year, which was interesting, was the laundry pods. Those little pod things that I've never used one because, I'm old, but because these young people are having to do their own laundry and they're, maybe carrying, for them to take one little pod with their bag of laundry is much easier than carrying a bottle of soap, a bottle of, softener or bleach or whatever, like, one little thing to throw in. So, and, they go on sale for $3 for a bag. But again, you say, well, it's only $3 or $5. But when all you have is $50 and you're trying to eat on that and you're trying to, keep your clothes clean and, so that you show up for school or work in clean clothing and, shampoo, I don't know, it's like $7 a bottle or something, even on sale.
Yeah.
It's all these little things and they're almost all barriers to people being able to present themselves well, to look for work, to show up at school and be accepted. These are all small barriers that add up to things that can be devastating to self-esteem, devastating to, personal feelings. People say that this is the hardest time of year. It's very depressing, a lot of depression, a lot of suicide, a lot of negative things. And, sometimes it's just something small that can change that. And I think that, if everybody did that, and obviously we're not the only ones collecting, lots of people, Salvation Army, a lot of different organizations are doing tremendous work. If you don't give to us, give to them. I don't want to stop anybody from doing any of that. But those things make such a difference. And for any of us, for any of the organizations that are helping, diapers. Diapers are insanely expensive. Insane. I cannot believe it. So, and like I say, we're not buying PS5s and laptops and iPads. We're buying like
toiletries,
blankets and blankets and
shoes and
diapers,
coats and fabulous.
coats and boots this year. Oh
Huge,
my goodness.
huge.
Yeah,
You know,
shoes.
there's something else that we were talking about last year, as you have been a regular guest to this program and also to Shaw. And we're always so grateful that you come and join us for this, because you remind us how important it is for some smaller things too. Last year, I recall us talking about Subway sandwich gift cards and the reason why that was so important. Would you mind repeating that this year for our listeners?
Sure, absolutely. Well, we're just saying that, people who want to donate, but they just don't have a lot of money. And I recall someone coming into the office and saying they just couldn't adopt a family. And my ask was, if you could go out and get 5 of your friends to each buy a $10 Subway card, I would really be grateful. And they said, well, that's nothing. And I said, actually, that could change a young person's life, because their friends are going out for lunch, because they have stable households and no worries about money, or less worries.
Yeah.
And here's the one child that has to go to Subway with his friends. If he wants to have lunch with his friends, he goes to Subway with his granola bar in his pocket, or one of his friends offers to buy him a drink or a sandwich. And that chips away at a young person. And when they come back after Christmas and they've received one or more, they can actually, when everybody's saying, hey, let's go over to Subway and grab a sandwich, this child can now say, yeah, let's go, and actually pull out a card and buy his lunch and sit and be one of the guys or one of the girls. And what a difference that makes when you're not the one sitting, sitting off or not being included, like not going at all, because you just don't want to face that time and time and time again. Now, obviously, it's not going to change forever, but it's going to at least give them some sense of belonging to the group.
Yes.
And I know, and I don't know, Kathy, if when I went to school, and we're going, like I say, we're going back a few years, but there was a cafeteria. There was a cafeteria, but I never bought from the cafeteria. I would have given my teeth to be able to buy lunch from the cafeteria, like, the other kids. But, I always had my sandwich or whatever I had. And not that anybody made you feel bad about it. In those days, it wasn't as much a thing as it is now, but going out for lunch now is the thing.
It was a lot when I was growing up. We had a cafeteria too. And very much like, because you and I are very close in age. And I have to say that when I would go to the cafeteria, it would break my heart, because everybody would be around me with like a hot meal. They'd have hot macaroni or hot soup, or, you could buy these gigantic apples that were like the biggest, most beautiful apples in the world. And I'm, by the way, not an apple lover, but back then I was. And they'd come out of the machine and they were ice cold and they were like 25 cents. I didn't have 2 bits to rub together to get an apple. So every now and then, my friends knew, and it's true, they didn't want to shame me, but I never felt included. I never felt part of the group, because I had 2 slices of bread, sometimes with maybe a little bit of butter and sprinkled sugar on it, or maybe a hard-boiled egg, or maybe a sandwich with the peanut butter so thin on it, you didn't even know. I can't even really eat peanut butter now, because, I do on toasts, but in that kind of an old sandwich that I had growing up, we just were not able to do that. And so, you're right. There's a thing about the self-esteem. Now, luckily, I was able to grow out of it. But I can tell you that, in every classroom, I've been a teacher for over 30 years. And in every classroom that I taught, there was always about 5 kids in the classroom every year, year in and year out. And think about in just my classroom, there was at least 5 kids. There's 30, 40, 50, 60 classrooms in a school. So think about how many kids are really struggling. And of course, right now with and I'm not wanting to lean us into the food program, but more along the lines for people to recognize that the significant need that schools have, especially with what we've gone over in the last couple of years.
No, absolutely. It's true. I know with me, for many, many years after I grew up and got a job, all I wanted was a half loon moon.
What
they had them in the machine.
What was that?
It's like they still sell them, but it was like those Joe Louis. Like I'm not a chocolate fan, but
oh, you mean like wagon wheels? Are you talking like with the marshmallows?
Yeah, like a wagon wheel, but it was but it was white cake, white
Oh,
cream, and it was only half. It was like a loon moon, half loon
I've
moon.
never seen that.
Oh, well, they're selling them in the
You'll
stores. But anyway,
have to have a loon
they
moon
were
together.
they were in the machines, and you know how you sort of look like you might want to stand in front of Tiffany's and look longingly at that canary diamond. That's how I looked at the loon moon in the machine. It was like, someday I'm gonna have 10 cents to buy a loon moon. I mean, a penny was a big deal, right?
Oh,
A
I
penny,
know.
you could buy penny candy back then.
Yep,
Am
you could buy
I,
three
I
candies for a penny if they were Mojos.
well, Mojos, or that we had chocolate babies, we
Oh,
had
chocolate
the
babies, yeah.
spearmint leaves, we had strawberries. You could get those two for a penny.
Yeah.
So, you know, all of that. So 10 cents was a big deal. Like, you didn't blow 10 cents on a loon moon, half a
No,
loon moon, right?
no,
You
no,
just
no.
didn't do it. It didn't happen. But
Because you get to have a
now I
piece of
can't
candy.
stand them. I can't even stand the sight of them. I can't stand the taste of them. But back then, I just remember longingly looking at that machine, wishing somebody would just buy me a loon moon, but never happened. Just the way
I
it was.
understand, and with all my heart, and I know that our listeners understand as well. I just know that they do. I mean, I think even if they themselves did not experience that kind of poverty, or they, you know, came from families that were comfortable enough to be able to provide the things that, you know, so many families really don't understand how other families take it for granted. Like, it is a big deal for some things to happen. And it isn't just about, I remember myself when the kids would come back from school after the Christmas break, and the kids would sit around and they say, oh, what did you get for Christmas? What did you get for Christmas? What did you get? And some of our friends were, you know, they were listing off that they got, you know, a truck and a Barbie and a this and a that. And they had so much stuff that they couldn't even remember how much stuff that they had received. And there were others of us that if we were lucky, we got a small gift. And so I know that there was another girl who was in the same situation as I was as we were growing up. So we would kind of commiserate together. But even when we did that, we were shy about sharing that piece because we didn't want either one of us to feel worse than we already did, because you do feel very left out of the big picture. And I'm not suggesting that the Angel program is going to be able to change all of that, but there's something to be said by what you said earlier of getting the kid the hockey stick that they've been dreaming about, or getting, you know, the pair of ice skates, or the, you know, the ball and bat, or whatever it is, to try to equalize some of that feeling and feel like a person. People aren't giving away presents. I think that that's the important part. It's not about the present. It's about feeling included in the world.
Right. Absolutely. And I totally remember those days too, when you went back to school and they couldn't list off everything they got, and they got great stuff. And, you know, you'd be sitting there thinking, I got pajamas, you know, and my clothes were mostly hand-me-downs
Oh
from,
yeah, me too.
you know, other people. And we have that. We've had children over the years. I'm talking like not even that young, but 12 years old, 13 years old, saying all they want is a sweatshirt that wasn't worn by someone else. Like, they just want a new sweatshirt, a
Something new.
brand new
I hear
sweatshirt,
you. Yeah. Or brand new shoes, you know.
or brand new shoes.
Yeah.
So, you know, well, we try our best. That's all we can do, right? We can only try our best. And with the support of, as I said, the amazing, amazing angels that we have, we've been lucky enough to be able to do it, at least for the ones that we can reach. You know,
Yeah.
the need goes well beyond anything we could do. I mean, I could work all year and not come close to touching where the need is. At least I can sleep well knowing that the families that we do touch are cared about, they're well taken care of, they're cared about. At least we've done what we can with these people, with our youth that we've helped, with our families that we've helped, with our seniors that we help. You know, we feel good. I can feel good about what we do. I don't have to
Yeah,
feel like we did
I
a
have
half
to tell you,
job.
I have to tell you, I feel very selfish when I gift to everybody because it makes me feel better. It's all about me. I like giving. And And I know so many people in community, that's our present. It's not, receiving stuff doesn't matter so much. It's in the joy of gifting to somebody else, and not just gifting to somebody else, but to gift to somebody who really genuinely needs to have a lift up, right? And it's not about creating a culture of, of providing everything for everybody all the time and nobody ever having to do anything, right? It's much more important that we recognize that we want to see kids happy. We want to see families working together. We want to bridge that gap. Do you get any funding outside of volunteer donor dollars, or have you been doing any fundraisers of any kind recently to help support the program, or are there annual events that happen?
This year we had our first craft fair. It
You
was
did.
amazing. It was amazing. We made almost $1,500, which I immediately went out and bought grocery gift cards with immediately.
Of course.
So that was a big one. We might have something else coming up around the pike, but we don't know what it's going to be yet. The thing is, Volunteer Nanaimo, we are so multifaceted, if I can say that, where we do so many different programs that there's always a fundraiser for something, whether it's a fundraiser for Helping Hands, whether it's a fundraiser for angels, whether it's a fundraiser for anything, whatever it is that we're doing. Our luncheon, in April, we're always fundraising. So there's always something going on, I have to say. And to everyone who supports us, I have to say thank you. We have a lot of community support. I can't really start naming everybody because I know I'm going to leave somebody out and I don't want any hurt feelings.
And we would want you to do that for sure.
But I think, and there's so much truth in what you say about giving. For me, that's what it is too. I'm to be able to do this really just makes my year. I've said to a few of my friends, people outside from around, not from here necessarily, but I always say, I work all year at Volunteer Nanaimo just so I can do Christmas Angels. Like, I will give you anything you need all year, so you let me do this, that they allow me to do this program, because I absolutely live for it. Absolutely. I don't like to take away from the fact, like, people, it's not just about presents. No, it's not just about presents, but people can't necessarily concentrate on what the good stuff is when you're worrying about the basic stuff. It's hard to take away from that. But this is Christmas Angels. It is about the goodness and the feelings around Christmas. It's not about anything else. And we send out our parcels with angels. We hope people are putting them on their trees and putting them somewhere where they can look at that and say, wow, Christmas Angels, there was an angel behind us, my children having a good year. We had a lot of parents this year, single parents, married, that absolutely just didn't want to ask for anything because they really wanted the angel to concentrate on the children, make sure that the children were taken care of, which is huge. We still, but kids are smart. Kids are very perceptive. So if there's presents under the tree for everyone but mom, it makes, a lot of sensitive kids will be like, well, why didn't mom get something? And then they feel bad too. That also causes hard feelings with children, because they think, like, I should have taken care of that. A lot of children feel like that is their role, right?
That's so true.
To give back as well. So I think it's important that mom gets something or dad gets something. And our youth like asks from our youth, like, these are kids that are in group homes, don't have maybe strong family or any family connection. These are kids that are like, they're in school and they're struggling. I mean, trying to make better lives. Like, a hand up with tools. We got asked for tools this year from a number of our youth, because they're going into mechanics programs or carpentry programs, or And I say, wow, let's help these kids because they are going to be very productive members of society. And they're going to turn out like you and I and say, somebody help me, I'm going to help somebody else at some point.
Yeah.
You know, or at least we hope. We hope.
And I think that they do. I mean, I've yet to see someone who hasn't been gifted by one of these programs and part of their life recognize, right? Most people are very shy about sharing that part of their lives, right? They're very, people are quite reserved. They're worried that they're going to be judged. They're worried that someone is going to think that they are, less than whatever that might look like. But part of the learning curve that goes with it is understanding that it takes all kinds of people in this world to make it function. And in fact, the world is actually run by C and C minus students every day, right? And it's people that are genuinely feeling like they have had something good happen to them in their youth, that they can walk ahead in the future, feeling confident enough to participate in what's going on. And some of them become incredible gifters in the future, not just for stuff, but for the morality of things that are happening around them, like to help to support causes that make a difference in a person's life, right? I can't, it isn't the present. I can't say that enough. It's not the present. It's that somebody feel like they mattered. Somebody was included. And so, with a little bit of that kindness, they can take it to the next level and do something really great for other people, pay it forward wherever they can, right?
We try.
I know, and that's what this is all about. It's about helping people become, fabulous people. It's, from every age, at every level. I am curious about your take on the whole volunteer piece right now, with so many volunteers, who are just so tired at this point. There's been so much going on in community, and you can see that there's a little bit of volunteer fatigue out there. How can our communities support volunteers better?
Wow, that came out of left field, Kathy. Thank you so much for that.
You are so welcome. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus. I really didn't.
Well, I think a lot of what the problem with volunteers has been over the past 18 months, I would say, is the inaccessibility for them to volunteer. Volunteers generally, again, as with what we're talking about with angels, get more out of what they do than what they get.
Absolutely.
So to not have the opportunity, to not have been able to get out to do what they love to do. Yeah. Volunteering is about socialization. Volunteering is about, again, your own self-esteem. Being able to help people fills people's lives. It fills a volunteer's life. That's what they want to do. So I don't know so much about the fatigue, because there really are. We've had lots of people reaching out to do volunteer work, but a lot of organizations and a lot of different things that are happening. There's restrictions. Yeah. So there's so many restrictions out there now about anything that you might want to do, be able to do. I would say, you've got to do a little bit of research if you want to be out there. I just think that there's a lot of opportunities, even for people who feel that there isn't. There are a lot of opportunities. They just may not be exactly what people are looking for right now. But the fatigue, like I say, the fatigue is more around people who haven't been able to volunteer. I know we've had, as soon as doors open, I mean, there's more volunteers than there are opportunities right now. Absolutely. And people are just tired of being shut in, locked out, but you still have to consider people's health.
Yeah.
Majority of volunteers are seniors. So we have to worry about taking care of our seniors. And, but yeah, I haven't, the opportunities, the volunteers I work with want more. They want more opportunities. They want more to do. They want to get out. They want to be doing something, seeing someone, talking to people. So yeah,
There's lots of opportunities. So what I would invite people to do would be to contact you directly, Rita, and see how people can volunteer and how they can be supported. Can you give out your website address one more time, or for how people, your email, so people could reach you?
the email is vnanaimo@gmail.com. The website is just www.volunteernanaimo.ca.
And if you
And
want to be an angel, then they need
just
you.
give us a call or send us an email or
Call. We're at my favorite part of the program. You know that this is my favorite part of the program. You know, as you and I, we've talked about a lot of different things today. As we close out the show for this season, being the Christmas holiday conversation that we're having with Volunteer Nanaimo, Rita Innomarrati, fabulous executive director, and really the pioneer for the Angel Network. And so what's your takeaway? If you could teach somebody in our community something about volunteering, about the Christmas Angel program, about all of it, what might that look like for you? The life
I would say that no give, no hand is too small. Never ever think that any little thing that you can do, any little thing you want to do, anything you can share is insignificant. It's all significant to someone.
Yes.
Holding a door open so somebody can get through, you know, that buying a coffee for the guy in the car behind you, smiling. I try to say nice things to people that I don't know, like, oh, I love your haircut. It's fabulous. Wow, I love it. Who did your hair? Like, it just looks so great. Or anything to a stranger. People, you just never know what someone is going through when you see them. So whether they're not smiling back, whether they seem brusque, they seem rude, they let the door slam, really try to be above all of it, because you never know what's in someone's heart. You never know what news they just heard. You never know what they're going home to. You don't know if they have a home to go to. So just be positive and remember that even if you don't see it right now, it's a ripple, right? It's a ripple, Kathy. You drop a pebble and it's a ripple and it goes right across the whole lake and it takes in a lot of space. So,
and something that you say today is really you may not know the result of what you've said or what you've done in that opening of the door.
absolutely.
I love what you said about you don't really know what's going on in someone else's heart. You have no idea what they're going home to. It's so very, very true. There was a wonderful video many years ago that was on YouTube, and it was, I'm not even sure who did it, but there were people walking, and then there were, those cartoon bubbles above their head. And it was said, I just found out that she has cancer. Her son just died. His mother just had a fight with her husband, right? Like there were all these many things, and all these people. It's so true. We simply just don't know what somebody else is going through. So be an angel and reach out to Volunteer Nanaimo, Rita Innomarrati. I'm so glad that you joined us today on Act 3. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you have just tuned in, we have been listening to Act 3 on CHLY 101.7 FM. Please find our recordings on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and share. We really, really appreciate it. We want to get Rita's message out right across the world so that everybody can help out somebody, regardless of where they're from, with an Angels program. We also hope that you will tune in to Shaw Spotlight, where you will watch Act 3, our upcoming episode. Rita will be also on that program for a few minutes as well. Please make sure you tune in into Shaw Cable 4. We're very grateful for your time. Thanks again. We'll see you next Monday, everybody, and have yourself an amazing day. Thanks so much. Bye for now.